5 मिनट में नीचे ही आऊंगी।
Shweta ma'am, can we start?
Yes, sir. Good morning to all. I am thoroughly pleased to witness you all here in this workshop. It's my privilege to address you all on the behalf of Mr. Yash Bharadwaj. I find immense pleasure in introducing our honorable guest, Mr. Yash, who is working as Red Team Security Researcher at Cyber Warfare Labs. He is highly attentive towards finding, learning, and discovering new training programs used during offensive engagements. His area of interest includes evading AV and EDR, securing Active Directory infrastructure, advanced Windows, and cloud based attacks. He has also delivered hand-on sessions, trainings at B-Sites Ahmedabad, Open Web Application, Security Project C-Sites, Cisco platforms, and many more. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Yash Bharadwaj to proceed the event. Thank you.
Okay. Uh, Thank you, Shweta ma'am. Let me share my system.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I hope my screen is visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So let's get started. First of all, I would like to thank Ruchi ma'am, Sagar Group of Institutions, and all the other associates who have bring this opportunity to me and finding me capable of organizing this particular small workshop on cybersecurity and delivering this quite hands-on experience to the students. So, first of all, what you guys can expect from this workshop is it will be a hands-on workshop, okay? And we will be touching upon a very deep level of cybersecurity of how it is operated in the enterprise environment. So, okay, about me, so I have experience of about 4 years. I'm working in the cybersecurity field for about 4 years, and my journey started when I was in college. I was in the way to explore my own field. I was just going through the fields that are available, but I don't want to be in the developer field because a lot of my colleagues and a lot of my seniors were forced to go into the developer field. They don't know about what the work area is and what are the things that are required. They just blindly follow the path since their seniors are telling them or like that. But I don't want to follow this path. So when I was in first year, I was just looking and going through the field. So then I discovered the cybersecurity, and then I got to a lot of friends in at my LNCT college. So they have also helped me a lot in my in area of this gaining the knowledge in cybersecurity. And I was just burning a lot of midnight oil in finding the resources or the knowledge about this particular field. And apart from that, I have also done a lot of certifications, and these are internationally recognized body certification. So the ECPTX, it's a bit hard. I have also done that, and some other certifications are mentioned here. So other than that, I like to speak in conferences. I love to share my knowledge. Whatever doubts you have about your career, about any field that you want to be like in 2 to 3 years. So just let me know about that. If I have information on that, I will be very happy to share with you all. And I have also presented in various international security conferences like in USA and in Indonesia. So that's about me. Okay. And yeah, I was talking about what you can expect from this workshop. It's like 2 hours. I guess it's a bit less to cover. Okay, so it will require more time, but I will try to cover each and every aspects that I have uh, just started up in my whole environment. Okay, so I will let you know about all these things. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so Ruchi ma'am, can we start? Okay, okay, fine. So we will start in a bit. So I am currently working as a red team security researcher at Cyber Warfare Labs, and as of now, we have like given certificates to 14 plus 100 customers, and we provide cybersecurity trainings and these courses to cybersecurity professionals, and no matter what are the level, beginners, intermediates to advanced professional. So as of now, there is we have this is a startup, and it's been like 1 year, and we are working remotely due to this COVID situation. And as of now, we have 50 plus countries from where our customers are. And the main thing is we have tie up with 14 plus enterprise clients right now. And we have also tie up with DRDO India, which is a very big milestone for us as a startup here. So let's start. Okay, like the topics that I have covered for you. Okay. So first, I will start about what is Kali Linux. Okay. So when I talk about cybersecurity, it's about the first thing that strike in my mind is there are a lot of networks, there are a lot of web technologies, and a lot of stuff to understand. Which people first think like, yeah, what is this? There are a lot to study. Yes, in every field you go, if you want specialization, there is a lot of things that you need to study, right? But if you want to maintain a position, there has to be like something in you, something specialized in you that differentiate you, right? So if I talk about cybersecurity, you need to go step by step, right? So the first is we need to identify what are the operating systems that are required when we do these testing and all these purpose. Okay. So if I talk about this Kali Linux, it's basically operating system. It's similar to it's kind of a Windows. It is also operating system Windows, but Kali Linux, it's basically a Debian based Linux machine, which is focused more on the penetration testing stuff. Okay, so what is penetration testing? So all the code the developers develop, okay, like the web codes or the application server codes, all of these. So there are penetration testers, or what we can call them as ethical hackers. So what they do is they try to test it. Okay, they try to secure it. It's more in an ethical way. It's not like we are not giving the or cracking the passwords of Facebook, Instagram. It's not like that. It's all done in an ethical manner. Okay, and I'm talking about industry grade standard, right? So in companies, what they want their whole infrastructure. They want their whole machines. They want their servers, each and every technologies that these big organizations are using. They want it to be secure. So what they want very skilled having or possessing very quality in this field, right? So what they want is if you have a bit of an understanding about what is penetration testing, about what are the technologies that these companies are using, if you have information about these, they are more likely to approach you, right? And other than that, the experience matters a lot, right? So in this particular slide, we learned about what is Kali Linux, okay, and it's basically an open source that platform. Okay, like anyone can easily download it. There is no restriction on that, and it's just it is developed by offensive security, right? So it will always be free since it is open source. Okay, it's available in both 32-bit and 64-bit images, right? So this is the operating system from where we do the hacking or all these kind of things. I'm not mentioning like there are a lot of other platforms too, like Parrot OS and there is Arch Linux. A lot of are available, but the Kali Linux is the most famous and most standard way, like the penetration testers are right now using. Okay, and also it is very strict or very updated to the latest tools and technologies that are in place. Okay, it has multi-language support. Okay, like there are a lot of languages that the Kali Linux support. Okay, and it is very customizable, which means we can, like, deploy our own kernel. If we want to remove anything, we can do that. It is very, like, easy. Okay, so the history of Kali, so it was first began in 2012, and when the offensive security, like, kind of came up with a problem, like, there are a lot of operating system, there are a lot of tools, but there is nothing such kind of thing which when there is a kind of operating system, but there has to be a lot of penetration testing tools in it, so that we as a penetration tester can, like, do a lot of stuff against a network, right? So the whole idea revolves around the security of the infrastructure, right? So it was in 2011 or 12, I guess, when this company Offensive Security, they decided to build uh, operating system called Kali, and from there was a lot of changes in the names. So first it was Backtrack, and then, like, it is right now Kali. So there is advancement in name also. So we will see that this is the family tree of the Kali Linux. So first it is this Nopix, then it goes to the Vopix, then Backtrack, and then Kali. Okay, so this is the series of all the on the family tree. Like first, it was named like this: Nopix, then Vopix, and then Backtrack, and this Kali. So we need to understand this, the operating system of this Kali Linux. Why? Because there's a need that you will learn. Okay, in a minute. I guess Ruchi ma'am has already shared the documentation of how to install this Kali Linux in your virtual environment, right? So if you guys have installed this, it is fine. If not, you can follow it after the workshop. Okay. So, what are the advantages of Kali Linux? Like, as I said, there are a lot of tools included in it. Okay, like there are 1,400 plus penetration testing tools that are included, and it is regularly updated based on the technologies that come into play. For example, right now the cloud technology is so much is in use. So the Kali Linux developers have like, are now looking on the cloud focused tools that needs to be included in the Kali Linux platform. It is widely supported, like it can be run from a live USB. You just need to just boot your device. Okay, boot your device from a USB, and that USB contains the live Kali image. You can also run without installing on your machine. Okay, this Kali Linux, so it is highly compatible. Okay, and the one great thing is it can also be installed on mobile phones if it is in a rooted environment. So I will not be discussing that, but it can also be easily run in this mobile phones. Okay, sorry. So now let's understand about this file system, what it is, and why we need to understand that, right? So basically, most of you have go through Windows. It seems very easy to, like, experience the graphical user interface and all this stuff. But in Linux machines, what happens? The quality of the graphic is not too good. Okay, the thing is that it is highly customizable, right? Like you can do a lot of things. If you don't want a single thing, you can just remove them. If you want to add a lot of packages, you can do that. So it's very easy and it's very customizable thing when you work in this Linux environment. So in all the families, like it's Debian or in RPM or in other families, uh, the main thing that I like in this Linux environment is the customizability, right? You can customize each and everything you want. Okay. However, the graphical experience will not be good as Windows, but who want the graphical thing when you are have you are getting what you want, okay, like the customizing thing. So basically there are in the Linux file system there are three types of these systems, okay, ext2, 3 and 4. So let's discuss one by one. So this ext2, it was the oldest one. It was developed by this Remy Card in 1993. Okay, it was a file system, and the basic thing that was present at that time was that the maximum individual file size can be 16 GB to 2 TB, right? And we don't need to go into the numbers or like that, but I just want you to know about this file system and what it is, right? So first it was ext2 file system, then it was ext3 in 2001 it was launched, and you can see that the file system size can be to 2 TB to 32 TB, right? But due to the advancement in the computing resources, there's a huge need of these storage capacity and processing capabilities, right? So now what the Linux machines are right now using is this ext4 file system. It was introduced in 2008. Okay, so the maximum file size can be from 16 GB to 16 TB, and there can be a multiple subdirectories in the folders. So let's get you through this what it is, file hierarchy system. Okay, so through this diagram you can understand that uh, the file hierarchy in the Linux machines looks like this. Okay, so the slash is the root directory. You can see that this all these that is written here, slash bin, boot, dev, etc, home, these are the the other directories that are present under this root. Okay, so if I go just give you a kind of demonstration of this, okay, of how this file system hierarchy looks like in the Linux machine. So this is my virtual environment that I have prepared for you guys for this machine. So let me resume my machine. Okay, so it's now resumed. Okay, so let's say I will use the cd command to go to the slash, that is the root directory. Okay, you can see that the change here signifies that I am in the slash one. So you can see that slash is the root directory here. Okay, and if I just ls here, so you can see that all these directories, dev, etc, some are other files are also there, but the main directories that I want you to know is these etc, bin, dv, home. Okay, so these are basically the file system hierarchy and how it looks like in the Linux machines. Okay, so this what I'm under right now, it's a Kali Linux machine. Okay, it's a older version, and I will let you know when we will go through the challenges. Okay, of what I have set up in the machine. So the best thing about this workshop is that you can, since you have set up in your local environment, you can also perform this once this workshop is over. Okay. And if you have any doubts or anything, you can directly email me. Okay. I have also mentioned the email in the PPT, right? But the main important thing is, since due to the limitation of this time constraint, I will not be covering a lot of things. But yeah, I have included a lot of things in the PDF that you can go through. So I have also mentioned that what are the necessities of these directories. Okay, so the slash, it is for the root. It is the top root of the hierarchy. Okay, as visible in the previous picture. So then there is a slash bin. So what this bin is, it contains all the binaries or all the essential command binaries in this location. For example, Python, PHP, Perl, all these kind of executables which are in the Linux environment, it is present under the bin. So, and in this slash boot, all the bootloader files are present. Essentially, all these, like, how the machine boots and all these files, all the supporting things are present in this slash boot folder. So you can just go through all the directories that I have mentioned here. Okay, slash lib, slash media, and basically you need to be very familiar with this command line console. Okay, so if you are working in the Linux environment, right? So most of you have worked in the Windows environment. It's fine. It's like, just drag and drop all this thing, moving your cursor. It's all fine. But in the Linux environment, you need to be very familiar with the terminal. Okay, so this is called terminal. So let me go through some of the commands that I will cover here. Okay, in this terminal session. So it's very easy, right? First, you need to identify like you are running as which user. So this hash that is here, which means I am running as root, and root is kind of a user which has the highest privileges in a machine, in a Linux machine, right? So let's say if I want to check like who am I? Okay, so I will just write the command who am I, and it will let me know that I am root right now. If I want to check what is the machine name, so I will write the name, my host name, and you can see that it has come up with this Kali. Okay, which means the machine name is the Kali. Okay, now if I want to list all the directories or all the files that are present under this particular folder, okay, so I will use the command ls that I have demonstrated you earlier. This, right? So this ls is the list command. It will list all the files or folders that are present in the directory that we are currently in. If we want to check the present working directory, so I will just write the command pwd. So see, like there's a lot of huge set of commands. I don't want you to go and just like bang your head and learn all these commands at once. It comes with experience, right? So you just need to slowly go through the commands, okay, that I have mentioned in the PDF, in this PPT, sorry. And once you go through all these one by one, you will understand, yes, like this is the main importance of this command, and how I can learn this particular thing, and what is the need of this command, okay, and where to use it. So as soon as you start solving problems, you will try to search Google, okay, in searching Google and gather information when you get stuck in the environment, right? So basically that's how the learning flow starts, right? So first you need to understand and learn things on your own at your own pace. It's not like I'm saying you to do that or do this thing. First you need to explore yourself, okay, why this thing is important, and is there is a need in the future, and why it is a need, right? Let me tell you a story. Like when I was in college, like I had a batch strength of about 60, and almost 52 to 53 of the students were interested in going to the developing field. They are currently right now working on the this developing field, right? But they are facing, all are facing a lot of challenges and situations right now due to this COVID era. But like if I talk about me personally, there's a lot of imbalance and a lot of things too that happened in my life due to this. But yeah, the thing is that it's you who who will decide what you want to do next, right? If you want to be like in the sheep herd, okay, like going to the developing field or any other field, it's up to you, okay. Since there are a lot of people right now that I'm seeing right now in this field, in this developing field, whether it's in the mobile application development, whether it's in the web application development, okay, a lot of people are going to that field, right? If you want to go to the developing field, why not try the iOS part, right? Why not go to the iOS development, application development? So if you select this kind of very specialized way or specialized field, it would be very very your value will be increased by 10, 20 to 30%, right? So it's you and the field that you choose that decides your future, right? It's not like just blindly following all this thing and just hoping like everything will be good. It's not works like that, right? So in the cybersecurity field, if I tell you that there are a lot of job opportunities that you have not heard about, right? Like there are a lot of things. Yes, thing is that you need to work a lot. You need to be updated in each and every vulnerabilities or things that you face. But thing is that the result is rewarding, right? Like if you are updated, if you are going through all the researches, latest researches, so you will end up in a path that is good for you. And there are a lot of job opportunities right now in India and in foreign also. Okay, so fine. This was enough of this, and let's go with that. Okay, so I hope that most of the persons who are attending this have already set up this Kali Linux in their local machine or local environment. If not, that's fine. If yes, try to do with me, okay, of all the challenges that I demonstrate here, right? If not, I have also mentioned it in this PPT that I will share after this workshop. Okay, so you just need to go through that. So basically, this is the how we need to install the ISOs and all this stuff in your virtual environment. Okay, so a bit about what is VMware and what is this virtual environment is. Okay, so you can see that I have this kind of VMware workstation running, and under this, I have machines here like this. So the main thing that I need you to know that this virtual machines is a concept. Like we can run multiple operating system in one machine at a time, right? So you can see that I'm running Windows 10 in my host machine, and through this VMware workstation software, I can run multiple virtual machines here, right? So why is that? It's the technology of VMware, right? And it's not recommended to try it in your host machines, since we are dealing with exploits, we are dealing with vulnerabilities. Okay, so it's not recommended to try in the host environment in your main machine. It is be it is very safe to just simulate all this thing in the virtual environment, right? So I can run as many as machines based on my performance, okay, and based on the processor that I have on this machine. So okay, fine. So I will just go through this. I will just skip this part since I have already shared like the installation of this Kali Linux, how to install this. Okay, so if you want, you can just go with that. Okay, like how to install this Kali machine in your local environment. Okay, so sorry. So the thing is that we will go through the commands now. Okay, like I have categorized it in two sections: system commands and tool commands, right? So as I said, since we are working on the Linux environment, you need to be familiar with the terminal and their commands a bit. Since we are beginners right now, so that's fine. So I have already demonstrated you who am I. So this command will show like who you are currently running as. Okay. The PWD commands means present working directory. It will give you just remember the hierarchy. Okay, that I have mentioned in the picture. This mention the hierarchy, and if you just like type PWD, you will get to know like where you are currently at right now. ls command is used to list the files or folders or anything that is present inside directory. cd command is going to move forward. So basically it's cd command is basically we are graphically entering a particular folder or directory or any file. So file opening file. So the cd command is used to go into a folder or come back out of a folder. Okay. mkdir command is used to make folders. Okay. So I will demonstrate this mkdir and cat command. Okay, in the in my machine. So I will make a directory. Let's call it system. Okay. So if I ls, you can see that you will get this system directory here. Okay. I will go to this using the cd command, cd sysstack. So means I am going to this stack, this folder. Okay, and right now if I press ls, you will see that there is nothing here, right? So how about if I make another file here, not folder, but a file here? And how to make a file? I will use the command called touch. So this command is used to make any file inside directory or anywhere. Okay, so I will create a file called file.txt. Okay, fine. Now if I uh, press this command ls, you can see that the file has been made here, file.txt. So it all comes from practice, right? You guys are familiar. If you guys are using windows, you must be familiar with just like, right click, new file, and then creating a notepad or text file, anything like that. But in linux machines, you need to deal with it, and you need to be very familiar with all these things. Okay, fine. So this was about this. And let's say if I want to delete this file.txt, what I can do is I can use the rm command, rm file.txt. Okay, so if I use this, rm stands for remove. Okay, so if I execute this command, this file will be deleted permanently from this machine. Okay, so you can see that it is deleted right now, and there is nothing present under this stack folder, right? So this is these are some of the basics of this cd, touch, and rm commands that are present in this terminal, right? And it just this terminal, it's basically is a way of interacting with the file system, right? Like we can do a lot of stuff. There are thousands or like so many commands that we can't remember. But yes, if you have any doubts on any command, what you can do is you can just type the man and then this ls. So what is man command is, this stands for manual. Okay, so if I just run this command, you can see that I will see what this command is. Okay, it will list directory contents, what the description is. Okay, like the switches, all this thing. Okay, if I go to exit, I will press q. Okay, simply if you want to know, see, let's say if you want to know about cd, so you can just go man cd. So this will open the manual directory of this cd command. So you can see there is no manual entry for cd. However, if I try for who am I, you can see that it will uh, print the effective user id or who we are. Okay, right now. So this is these are some of the basics. If you don't want to know about, if you want to know about a particular command, what it do or what is the purpose and what are the flags to use, you can always use the man command for that. Okay, fine. Now I will tell you about the editors. Okay, like what are the editors? We have always heard about Notepad. Okay, in the Windows environment, we are also familiar with the Sublime Text. We are also familiar with this Microsoft Visual Studio. Of those of you who are developers right now or are studying that particular path. So in this Linux fields, Linux editors, we have a lot of text editors, right? But I will cover only few. Okay. So first I will cover about this Nano. So this what this Nano is, it is basically a text file editor, right? So let's say if I run this command nano file.txt, right? So if I just run this command, you can see that what will happen. I will execute this and see I'm getting a prompt here. So now what I can do, I can write anything I want. Like let's say I want to write hi, I am Yash. Okay. So this is what I can do with this nano. Okay, it's basically from terminal we are writing enough text file. Okay, so this nano is basically a text editor. Okay, and we can write anything. We can like do whatever we want. Okay, from that. So it's like that. And if you want to escape from this, so what we need to do is we need to first save this. So the save, how to save this is we need to first press the control and O simultaneously, right? Once done, enter, and then control X. So first of all, it will look tedious to you, like why we are doing a lot of things like that. But whether like if you want to be a developer or anyone or any if you want to go in any field, the thing is that you will be greeted with Linux, okay, like in 2 to 3 years or 3 to 4 years, right, from now. Why? Because most of the servers in companies right now are of this Linux. There are Windows machines also, but you need to work with this Linux machine, and it doesn't about the flavor of this Linux. Basically, everything is similar. All the commands are similar in each and every Linux families. Okay, here, but the thing is that you need to be familiar with that, right? So this nano is what I was telling you about. Okay, it's basically a text editor. So I will just open it once again, and you can see that hi Yash is written. So let's say if I want to view what is written under this file.txt, I will write cat file.txt and see it's written what I have written down in the text file at that time. Okay, so sorry, let's talk about another editor. Okay, it's quite different from nano. I find nano to be easier or simple as compared to this vi editor. Okay, so this vi, it's also text editor, but it's a bit different. It's since there is a combination of keys that you need to remember when you use this vi. Okay, so if I open this, see, this is the prompt I get. Okay, if I need to input or write anything here, so what I need to do is I just need to write I. Okay, press I. Sorry. Once I press I can write hello again. Okay. So what I have done here is I have just opened this using VI. I have just pressed the I button, only I button, nothing more than that. And now you can see that this particular navigation, it's showing that we can insert or write into this text file, right? So we can do this, and to save this, what I need to do, there is a combination that you need to press. First escape, then semicolon, then WQ, and then exclamation sign. So when I click this, it's closed. Okay, so that's for that particular key combination was for saving that file and then closing that particular VI prompt, and then coming back to our terminal that we have right now. So if I now view the file.txt, you can see that it's has this hello again is now being appended to this what was written earlier to this text file, right? So it's very simple. I find this nano to be very simple, this text editor, but it's up to you. Like whatever you want to choose, and there are the easiest one if you want to use is gedit. If you want to use, it's the very simpler one. It's similar to the notepad. Okay, so see, it's the similar one written, but you can just directly write out or anything that you want. It's like, simple control s, save, and cut put like that. So like that. Okay, fine. So we will now move to our PowerPoint presentation. Okay. So yeah, let's move on to the network commands. Okay, I will be skipping some of the commands since like I have time constraint only 2 hours, and there is a lot to cover. Okay, a lot of challenges that I have designed for you guys. So for now, we will just like go through some of the basic stuff that will be needed when performing the challenges. Okay, so that's fine. So I will first go to the network commands. Okay, this ifconfig, what this will do, it will list the IP address of your Kali Linux machine. Okay, so what is the IP address? It is basically the unique identifier of a machine in the network, right? So let's say there are like right now, let's for example, let's say 50 students are attending this workshop. Okay, and you must have a name or unique ID associated with you. Or let's say if you are a college student right now, you must have an enrollment number or anything like that that is associated with you. So that is unique to you, and the teacher or anyone who wants to see, like they can easily identify the unique number, the enrollment number, and they can identify you, right? So that's what this IP address is. Okay, the IP address is categorized into two parts. The first one is IPv4 and the second one is IPv6, right? So it's basically based on the limitation that the IPv6 comes into the role, which I will not be talking about this IPv6. We will be covering the IPv4 command part. Okay. First, we will go through these commands. Ping. So ping is to know that the other person is right now available for us. Okay. So let's say if there are two-person in a classroom, these are two students. First student want to check if the second one is not asleep or is present at the time. So what he will do, he will just try to ping him and see if he is live or not, or if he is reading or like studying or not. So that ping command is for that. Wget command is for downloading any particular thing, any particular file from the internet to the machine where we are using that wget. Netstat command and service command, I will let you know on that. So first I will just go through this ifconfig command. Okay. So what this ifconfig command will do, it will list out the IP address that is associated or that is present in my Kali machine. So if I press enter, you can see that right now what this is these are adapters or interfaces. Okay, so this eth0 is the interface. Okay, the IP address of this is 50. This one 192.168.50.10. Okay, the net mask is here also. Okay, now we don't need to go on to the other details, but we just need to go through this inet. What this is? Okay, this is the IP address, and then this is the loopback address, which we don't want to worry about, right? It's just for the local address. Okay, it doesn't do much, but it's just for the reference. Okay, just for packet creations and all these stuff, which we will not be talking about. So the thing that I need you to know is this: it's zero, which is the has the IP address, this one. Okay, fine. Now let's say if I want to ping myself. Okay, if you remember, my IP address is 192.168.50.10. Just remember that since we will be using both of these machines as our like further for further challenges, so just remember that 50.10 is the IP address of this my Kali machine, and I will let you know the IP address of this web server or the second Metasploitable 2 machine. Okay, so let's say if I try to ping myself, since I am live now, so the result will be fine. Okay, which means I am live. So you can see that it is coming with a reply, and it is I'm just closing this using Control C, and you can see that I got a response from 50.10. Okay, this is the TTL value, the time is in this milliseconds, and it is showing that yes, we are live now. So let's try to ping any non-existing IP address, okay, right now. 10.10.10.10, which is not present. We know that it is not live right now. So you can see that we are not getting any response from this particular IP address, which means it is not live right now. So this ping command is very, like, handy in confirming, like, yes, this machine is right now uh, live. Okay, and we can directly, like, what you can do with that, right? So let's say if I want to talk about this website, let's say if I talk about any website, let's say Systech college website. So if you want to check, like, if this particular website is live or not, what you will do is you manually type the address of that college name, and you go through the hit your browser, and you will see that yes, if the web page comes with some response, you will see, like, yes, this there is that particular website is live. So similar is this case with this command ping. We are just checking if that particular IP address is live or not, right? So what we are trying to understand from starting to the end is how to go through the basics terminologies, and then go out and just broaden your mind and see why all these things are required in the companies or in the industrial exposure, right? You will learn all these things in colleges, and all these things are fine, but the industry level exposure is what I am focused on right now. Okay, so these things that you will face when you really work in the enterprise or on big organization. Okay, so all these things will be required, whether you will be developer or any person who wants to, like, just land up a job, right? So you want to be very skilled, and if you want to be someone who is very unique, who wants to know something different, so you need to, like, work hard for all this stuff. So that's fine. Okay, so the next command, yes, that's it. So actually we also have see, like, uh, in computers and in laptops, what happen is there are ports. Okay, but there are hardware ports. You must have heard about the hardware ports. So what those are, these are basically, like, let's say if you want to plug into a USB cable, or if you want to plug a mouse or your mobile phone into the laptop. So there's a like, port that we call it. Okay, and that is used for connection, right? So what is the software ports? So basically these are not seen. Okay, like, you cannot see them or like that, but these are present in each and every machine. If you go and understand the OSI layer, okay, so what is that OSI layer? It basically tells you about the deep down networking architecture of how the machine responds to each other, right? So these software ports, are not talking about the hardware level ports which are present in your laptop or on your machine, or on your CPUs. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the software ports. Okay, so right now there are 1 to 65,535, I guess. These are the numbers of the TCP ports that are present in the machine. Okay, so these are very large number. Okay, and what this port do, it basically runs, or, like, connects to a service. Things will be very clear when I, like, run this up this machine. I will be just doing it in 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, this another machine. So first, I want you to know about what are the software ports. First, remember that it falls under the range from 1 to 65,535, right? And these are basically the TCP ports. Similar is the case with the UDP one. 535. So the similar number of ports are available in the UDP 2, right? So you need to understand that, right? And every service, let's say if you open SSH, if you open FTP, if you open HTTP, HTTPS, this runs on ports, right? So a very good example would be to, like, open a website and checking if the website is running or not. Okay, which means it hosts on port 80 or port 443. I will let you know on this, what is that and what is not. Okay, so fine. I guess this is fine about all the basics of the networking. Okay. If you don't understand about this software ports and what it is and what are the services that are associated with it, so I will let you know on that. Okay, what it is, and things will be very clear when I, like, run some tools and all this thing. So just make sure that if you have the environment setup, it is very good. If not, just follow the screen and just enjoy the whole challenges that I will do over here. Okay, so I will just run this machine. Okay, it's just opening. Okay, I hope this is visible to you guys. Okay, so you can see that the IP address here, if you can see my this cursor, it's like 50.3. This is the IP address of this web server machine. So what we are trying to do here, we first need to understand that, right? So this is my attacker machine of SecVM, and what this is my victim machine where I will be attacking it. Okay, so generally what happens in the company or in an organization is there are a lot of people and there are a lot of machines that are allotted to them, right? So let's say if you join company after 2 years, 3 years, or next year or this year also, so what the companies are doing right now or was doing right now was they give you laptops, they give you assets through which you can access the company infrastructure and then, like, do all this stuff. So there are lakhs of machine or more than that present in the company. Okay, and so what the penetration tester do is they try to secure each and every endpoints, each and every servers that are present in the machine. So imagine a network when where there are, like, thousands or lakhs of machine, and you are 5 to 10 guys who are sitting on one side and trying to test one each and every machine on that, right? So just imagine that particular problem and what how you will, like, come up with a solution. So basically that's what we want, this main solution is. So that's what we are trying to do here. But since this is a workshop and we have a time limit, like, only of 2 hours, so what we will be doing is I have also only used one machine here, which I have called web server. Okay, and generally these web servers are publicly accessible from the internet, right? Any website or anything, these are basically the web servers which are hosting these websites, right? Developers know very good about this. Okay, very well about this. So what I will do is I will try to run some basic commands against this machine. So I will be sitting as a penetration tester here on this Kali Linux machine which I have set up. If you remember the IP address of this Kali machine, it's 50.3. Let me just confirm. 50.10, sorry, 50.10 is the IP address of this OffSec VM, and this web server is 50.3. So let's check if I can ping this machine or not from my attacker machine, from my penetration testing machine. So I will try to ping 192.168.50.3. Okay, so these are very simple commands. I'm just trying to check if this machine is live or not, or if I can connect to that machine or not. So see, I'm getting some response from that machine, which means yes, it is live right now. Okay, you can see that the response is continuously coming, which means it is saying that yes, I am live, yes, I'm live, and like, uh, I am hosting some services. So the first phase of penetration tester. Okay, so what he do, or what in a company happen, is first we try to gather a lot of information about target, right? So basically the main or good thing is here in the cybersecurity field is that you need to think like an attacker, right? Like you need to understand what are the thought process and what he's thinking on of breaking in and doing all this stuff. So it's basically a lot of out of the box thinking that you need to develop on your own. So once you have that kind of expertise, it all comes from experience. Once you have that, what will happen, you simply try to, bypass all the security controls that are in place, right? And all these things are done in an ethical manner, right? And you just at the end document all the findings that you have done or everything, and you show it to the point of contact or the company member. So what they will do, they will try to, analyze and see, like, yes, these are the vulnerabilities this penetration tester has identified. So I will reward him, I will give him money, okay, or based on the contract, whatever it was. So this is what basically what happens. So first, as I said, the first step is to think like an attacker, right? So basically, let's say if you are trying to enter into a house, let's just imagine what sorry, what are the, multiple ways that you can think of, right? So the first thing would be like how many people are running in a house, how many people are living in a house. Once you have that information, you will try to find out the sequence of outgoing or incoming, people who are coming out and when they are out or when they are not. Okay, so like that. So all these minor thing or specifics you will identify, and based on that information or based on that intelligence, you will build a strategy, right? So these, just focus on the points that I'm saying to you. First is information gathering about your target, right? Like what it is, okay, and what are the behavior of your target, all this thing, what are the technology that the target is using. First thing. Second is to come up with a strategy based on the intel that you have gathered, right? So the strategy would be to, it should be very stealth in nature, right? Like it should not be like, you don't have any backup plan. You just see, like, yes, there are no people in the duration of 3 to 4 p.m. So you will just go and, you don't have any backup plan. It doesn't like that. It has to be very stealth, this part. So that's how that thing happens, right? So what you need to do is, you need to first gather information, second come up with a strategy, and third try to exploit it, right? And remember that all these three steps that I told you, it should be done, or it must be done in an ethical manner. You will not try to abuse the assets that you will find. Do not do that. Okay, never do that. Never abuse the assets that you will find. Only and only try to report them. Okay, so that's what we will be doing, the simpler and the similar steps here. So the first is, first what I am trying to see here is, I'm going to check if this machine is live or not. So I can see that yes, it is live, since it is responding to me. Next, I will look at what are the services that are running here. So I remember the time when I was telling you about the software ports, right? So similar thing is that Nmap 162.168.50.3. So what this Nmap is, it's short for network mapper. Okay, the full form is network mapper. So what this network mapper is, it basically goes, it basically first create packets, and based on the packet it sent to the destination machine, which is 50.3, which means this web server. Okay, so it will send all the packets one by one to this web server. They reach the web server, and based on the, probing sequence and the, the information that these packets gather on that, they give us some information. and that information is like, that you will be that you can visualize, right? Like which port is open on that machine, not the hardware. Just remember, it's all always the software ports. Okay, so these software ports are most of the time the vulnerabilities or the loopholes there, right? So let's say in port 443, if any old software is running, okay, and it is exposed to internet, and it is any attacker who are just scanning the entire internet, what they can do, they can try to identify like, yes, this particular server has port 443 open, and there is a very vulnerable thing running, any software or any application, any poorly coded by developer. And what they can do, they can then try to abuse it. Okay, so this is how the process goes on, right? So that's what I'm doing right now, trying to identify or gathering the intel. So let's see like what ports are open and what services are open, that we will see next. So I will just run it, and I will sit back and relax for a few minutes, a few seconds, because the output would be like, bit late, I guess. So let's check. Okay. So it was quick. So you can see that what had happened when I run this command. So basically, you cannot see the packets that are originating from my Kali machine and going to the web server, but it is what going under the hood. Okay, and you can also see that it is Nmap is showing that the host is up, and these are the ports that are running in this machine, right? So you can see that 21 is basically for the FTP port. So these corresponding things that you need to learn, right? Like, which port and which service. Okay, the mapping of both of these things is very important, right? Because let's say if I tell you like what runs on port 22 TCP, these are all TCP ports. Just see. Okay, I'm not talking about the UDP right now. These are the TCP. So let's say if I just ask you what runs on port 22. Okay, so you must come up with answer that SSH runs on port 22. These are the standard ports and the services mapping. Okay, it's also possible that SSH can run on 333 port. Basically based on the configuration the administrator has done. But the thing is that it's standard. Like, what is showing here in my screen, it's standard. So we can see that the state is open, which means all these ports are open on the web server, right? So you need to understand this very clearly. Like, first you need to understand the information this Nmap has given to us. Okay, like we can see that a lot of ports are open, right? A lot of ports. You can see a lot of ports are here. All these are open. Okay, so the next step is to gather more or verbose information about these services. More verbose. Okay, so how we can gather these verbose information about these services? It's with the flag of the Nmap. Okay, so I will use the flag dash sv. So what this sv is, it will basically list the exact version of the services. Okay, so let's say if I talk about this SSH, so there are like, with the development of this SSH service, there has been a lot of advancement in these packages. Okay, there. So in this particular machine web server, what exactly is the that version running? Let it be 6, let it be 7, I don't know what it is, but I need to enumerate that, right? So enumerate is the correct word that we can use here, right? Similar is with each and every these services. Okay, so based on the information that we get from our next command, we will then see what we can what we can come up with a strategy. Okay, so first, we are still in the first phase. We are gathering information about the target. Okay, So this SV flex will give me verbose information only about the services. Since we know that these ports are live, okay. So Nmap is intelligent enough to, like, uh, just go with this ports and give us the results. Okay, so I will just run this. It will take some time. It will require some time, but the information but the result would be great. Okay, I can promise that, because this SV flag will give us a lot of information about the service. So let's say if I press any command while this is running, so let's say if I press enter or space, you can see that it gives the status of how much the percentage of the scanning is done. So you can see that this is right now it's service scanning and it's about 95 point this percentage done, and like it shall complete like till soon. Okay, so since this is running and it will take some time, since there are a lot of ports and it is just like what it is doing, I will give you an idea. It is going to port 21 and it is trying to read the particular banner here. So if it says like FTP this is version is running here, so it will give us the output, okay, in that format. So simply it will go from to each and every this ports, okay, 21, 22, 23, all these ports from starting to the end. Okay, so that's what happening right now. In the meantime, I will let you know about this. Since we have also gathered that port 80 was running. Okay, so see the output has now come up here. Okay, and you can see that this is the output of the verbose information of the services. Sorry, yeah. So we can see that the difference in output is huge, right? Like you can see that the it has a right now column which is of version. Okay, you can see that in the previous output it was only port, state, and service, but right now here in this case it is port, state, service, and version. So this was what I was talking about, right? And you can see that port 21 is open and FTP is running. Okay, that's fine. But we get to know the version, which is VSFTPD 2.3.4 version is the exact one that is running in this particular port, right? So that's what I was talking to you about. Okay, this SSH. So see, Open SSH 4.7 P1. This particular package was running here. Okay, so lot of information is available here, a lot of information, right? Like pro ftpd 1.3.1 is running. Okay, a lot of things you can see. So now we have this information, we have this juicy intel on the target machine, which is our web server. We will try to check and see if we can gather anything about these ports, right? So a simple Google search will give us the output like, yes, if this particular version is vulnerable or not, or we should go and try this exploit or not, right? So what we have done is we have identified the version. Okay, now we will Google search and we will find if just if there is something vulnerable that is present on this machine. So here we can see VSFTPD 2.3.4 is running. Okay, so I will just open my Google here, VSFTPD. Okay, so you can see that this command execution vulnerability in there. Okay, so what is command execution vulnerability? Which means without touching or without him like doing anything on this web server, we are remotely executing our own code onto the web server, right? So we can do that using this VS FTPD 2.3.4, right? You can read all the history and all these things in this. In these links that the Google has mentioned here. Okay, but the main thing is that we identified that VSFTPD, this particular version, is exploitable, right? And what I mean by exploitable is what the end goal I want to achieve. I want to get the control of this web server machine, right? Which means I can do whatever I want on this web server machine without interacting the or without interfering the another user, right? So that's what I want. I don't want to give any USB or run malicious command. I don't want to do that. I want to be highly stealth in this. I want my code to be executed on the remote machine, which is in this case is web server, without notifying the administrator or whoever is using this web server, right? So what I will do is there is a very good Metasploit framework in this Kali Linux machine. It is developed by HD More. Okay, and what this Metasploit is, it is basically an exploitation framework, right? And let me give you a very brief demonstration of what this is. I will first close this. I will open MSF console. So if you want to know about MSF console, just have a look at here. How to open Metasploit? It's you through this command. So MSF console is basically it open the Metasploit. Okay, you can see Metasploit framework console, and it has a lot of exploits, lot of things inbuilt in this console. Okay, so we will just see it in a minute, right? So as of now, this version has this many of exploits 1974. These are auxiliary and all these payloads and all these things are present under here, right? So it when you open this, it basically gives you a very good banner kind of thing here. You can check, right? And okay, and it gives you a prompt like this MSF5, right? So let's go and locate the VSFTPD. Oh, sorry. The search would be the good command. Why I'm using this VSFTPD? Since we have already identified that this particular version is running here. Okay, so I will search through 197 or what was the number was to look for this particular string, okay, from the whole lot of database, and we can see that here it's available. Okay, this is the name of the exploit. The disclosed date was 2011 this day. Their rank is excellent, which means it will probably succeed. Okay, and it's the VSFTPD v 2.3.4. The version is similar. You can see 2.3.4, and it's basically command that command backdoor command execution, right? So this is what I was searching or looking for from this Metasploit. So what this Metasploit has done to me is first of all, there are a lot of exploits here, right? We can search for the exploits. Okay, once it is found, we can fire them against the vector machine. Okay, only and only do this if you have written permission on over the remote vendor or whoever it is. Okay, since I'm doing this in the local environment, so I don't need any consent. It's only my machine. That's fine. So to exploit this, I will use this particular command, use and this command. So right now you can see that I am under this particular prompt. Okay. So the as I said in Linux, the familiarity with this terminal is required. That's why it's you will find easy when you have like some of the hands-on on this particular part, right? That's fine. So if you want to show the uh, options, yes, we will look for the options that are present here. Okay, so yeah, we can see that our host, it's the remote host, which means the IP address of the web server that's need to be written here, and the port is 21, and we already know that on 21 port it is running, right? So there are so many cases where you will not find these kind of information, like the version is not matching with whatever is written in the Metasploit, and a lot of things like that. You need to custom create your own exploit, which comes at advanced level of some expertise. So that's fine. So as I know, the R host, that is the remote host, which means the IP address of web server, I will use this command set R host and the IP address of the web server. So the web server IP address is 168.50.3. Okay, fine. The R port or the remote port is set 21, which is fine. There's nothing, nothing to worry on this port 21, right? It is fine. Now, what I can do, what will happen is I will hack into this web server. Okay, when I run this particular exploit, right? And it's all remote. I am not doing any interaction with this machine. Yes, there will be some packets that are crafted from this exploit and will be sent to the web server. That is fine, but I'm not doing any physical stuff on this web server, injecting the any malicious executable or anything like that. There's nothing like that happening here. Okay, so I will set the verbosity to true. Okay, fine. Now I will run the exploit. So you don't need to remember all these commands, like what to write and what not to write. It basically a flow when you get to understand about all this stuff, since the time is the limit. Okay, so I won't be able to go through all the set of commands. That are a lot. This Metasploit framework is a very vast framework, and I have included some few things in the PPT that I have prepared for you guys, but for the sake of it, you just need to go for that, and it's mentioned in very easy and very clear steps, like how to proceed with all these stuff. Okay, understanding this Metasploit framework, how to run your first exploit. Once done, what you need to do, all this stuff. So I will try to first exploit it. Right, I'm just clearing the screen. That's fine. Now, what will happen when I run this exploit command? The packets, malicious packets, will be crafted from my attacker machine, that is the Kali Linux machine, and go to the web server, right? Once it will reach the web server, it will abuse the vulnerability that is present, and then I will get a shell back of the web server. So shell is basically the similar thing like this. Okay, like this root shell, I have the root shell. So similarly here I have this MSF admin in this machine web server. I have this particular. So let's see what I will get. Okay, when I run this exploit. Oh, see. So you can see that the command shell session has been opened, right? You can see that the banner is fine, all this fine. Backdoor service has been spawn handling, and you can see that UID equals root with 0, which means I am running as root here. Though you will not find that there is any kind of prompt here or anything here, but if I run this command, who am I, you will see that the result is root, which means I am right now landed on this machine. Okay. One more thing is I will try to check the host name. See, this is the Metasploit table, which is this machine. See, Metasploit table. So I'm right now remotely connected to the web server, okay, or the Metasploit table machine. Let's just try to identify the IP address on this machine. You can see that 50.3 was the IP address of this web server. Check here. 50.3 is the IP address of this web server. So right now, what I have done is I have from my attacker machine in an ethical way, I have first gathered information. Sorry, I have first gathered information about the target. I have enough information. I try to enumerate about the services like the verbose thing. That is fine. The third thing that I have done here is the exploitation or the abuse stuff, right? So this is the most important way, and this is how you document all this stuff from starting to the end, right? So we can do a lot of stuff like I can power off this machine. I can remotely turn on the camera, or a lot of things can be done from this particular prompt, but I will not be doing that, right? Yes, I can turn off the machine, that is fine. Okay, just to let you know that I have the control of this machine remotely. Okay, so I can do that. Okay, and let's say if I run this power off command, okay, on this web server, so this machine will be uh, powered off. Okay, fine. So I will just run this power off command here, and you can see that all these services are now stopping. I have just see the command shell session 1 has been closed because the communication between, or the tunnel that was set up between both of these machines has been terminated. Okay, and you can see that the machine is at going at halt stage. See, this is now powered off, right? So I have successfully been able to go into the machine, okay, remotely connect to the machine, and then try to turn off the machine, right? So this can be easily done with the so just imagine how insecure the cyber world is, right? Like there are a lot of servers that are running that do not have sufficient patches with them, right? You can just run your exploits and try to do all these things like that. It can easily happen since there are a lot of attackers or bad actors, or bad guys doing all this stuff continuously, and this is uh, how the countries like Pakistan and all these guys are doing all these stuff against us, against our infrastructure, right? So it basically depends on the how secure your infrastructure is. Basically, nothing is secure, right? So in order to be well enough to be competent or well enough to be secure, you need to apply fixes and be updated regularly, update your softwares, your patches, because you don't know what your services are exposed. Okay, even if you know about the services, you don't know who is accessing them. If there is any kind of insider threats, there are a lot of rules or factors that play an important role when you secure an infrastructure or an organization, right? So this can easily be done in a Windows 10 or Windows 7 machine. That is very easily achieved. Okay, and it's all remote. You can similarly turn on the camera. You can turn off the camera even with the light on off. Doesn't look. It's all fine for us, right? Even if that would help if you have shutter in the camera. That would help, but if not, that not gonna help, right? And a lot of things can also be done, exfiltration, or gaining some sensitive information from your laptop, financial stuffs, or private pictures, or like that, right? A lot of things can also be done when I have control over your machine. Okay, So that's why all this thing is demonstrated. I have demonstrated this in the local environment. Okay, I have not chosen any production environment for you guys to practice, and I also suggest you to only do this in your local environment, right? So I will be powering on this machine since I have some other challenges to do also, and time is ticking. Okay. Okay, so this was one demonstration for the network vulnerability that we have just exploited, right? So vulnerability is basically what I can say is the unpatched stuff, right? Which which can be easily abused, right? So it's basically the weakness that is present in that particular version of that FTP. That's why I am able to exploit that, right? So it's running. Okay, it's just opening. In the meantime, I will open my Firefox. Okay, so I will go to the 168.150.3. Okay, so I we have also seen that uh, port 80 was running, okay, here, and now we will try to abuse or exploit one of the web-based vulnerability, right, here. So you can see that there are a lot of things that are running here, okay, and it's basically intentionally made vulnerable, this Metasploit table 2, for practicing stuff, right, in your virtual environment. It should not be deployed in the production environment, so that attackers, it's basically like just for practicing for beginners, and trying to understand what are the big factors that comes into play when you learn about cybersecurity and all these stuff, right? So I just headed to the port 80 of this Metasploit table, and I can see that uh, that a lot of things are running here, right? So let's just go with the DVWA. What this DVWA is, it's damn vulnerable web application, which means it is made vulnerable for people like us to practice and enhance our skills, right? So in cybersecurity, labs are going to be a very huge part for the role. Why? Because you are not going to be just learning and going through all the theory stuff. It's not like that. It's all about practical stuff when you talk about cybersecurity, because you need to be very hands-on in all the domains, on all the things when you go with that, right? So if you go here, you can see that it's written default username password is admin and admin and password. So I will just enter these credentials that are written in the bottom, and you can see that this is the welcome uh, page to damn vulnerable web application, right? And it's all hosted under one package, which is in the Metasploit table 2, right? So it's very good for, I will suggest the developers who are right now working, or working on major projects, or 7 semester guys, 6 semester guys, to go and look for this DVWF. Since you are making applications and all these things, it's also important to look into the security aspects, okay? So let's say if you if there is any kind of token kind of vulnerability, how the attackers are going to abuse it, and a lot of things are available here, right? So you need to go through that too. I have also included in the PPT that I will be sharing with you guys, okay? So first, let's go with the DVWA security, and I will low the security to low. Okay, just change the security mode to low. Why? Because it's easy for me to demonstrate. And high, there will be something, since these all these challenges are set it to low, intermediate, and advanced level, right? So for the advanced, the audience needs to be advanced, right? So that's why I have used the low, just for, like, to let you know about all these things. Okay. So okay, sorry. So you can see that there is this particular prompt, vulnerability command execution, and you can see that there's a return ping for free, enter an IP address below. Okay, fine. So there's a kind of a, like, input box. Okay, it's very common in blogs and in platforms where there is a lot of content, and you need to search for any particular text, any particular string, or anything like that, right? So what happens is, these developers, they, like, pass that particular input what the end user provides to the this particular kind of prompt, and they, like, just link with the bash or anything like that, so I can directly execute commands from this particular prompt, right? And on the web server. So that is a very big loophole or a vulnerability that I can say. So let's just try to enter the IP address of my Kali machine. Not the Kali machine, just, okay, this one, anyone. So I will just hit the submit button, and it will take some time, and it will show me the output. You can see that this is the output of what I have received here, right? And the best thing is that it's all written in PHP. You can also view the source page, or the what I can say is the PHP code of what is happening under the hood, right? So you can also do that. Okay, see, the code is also here. Okay, fine. So let's just try to do one more thing. Let's say if I try to enter the IP address and I just separate it with the ID command, right? So what this, I not the ID command, but the command like who am I? So what this will do, since there should be, like, as I said, you should be familiar with the terminals. So let's say if I execute two commands, can I use this semicolon here? Let's just try it here. Open tab. So let's say if I want to execute two commands, who am I and semicolon host name. See, I can execute simultaneously two commands with this in the mid. Okay, this is the separator. So who am I? I am root right now, and the host name or the machine name is Kali. Okay, so this might get executed at the end. Okay, and as I said, it's not like, we are not like, hitting and trying all this thing. It's just, it comes from the source code review. Okay, like all the codes, PHP code that I read here. Okay, or what I understood here, and based on the vulnerability that I identified, or based on the coding practice the developer is doing, I can try to abuse them. So let's see if I can abuse this, or if I can try to execute the command. Let's check. So if there is a execution of this whoami command in the inside or on the back end of this machine, which means I can execute any command on the remote machine. So you can see that the output is www-data, which means there is some kind of command execution that I can do on this machine, right? So 1.1.1.1, let's try to check the IP address of this machine web server, right? So I will be using this ifconfig command, which will list the IP address. So just to let you know that yes, we can directly execute commands from this particular prompt. So I will submit this. Okay, so the output is large, I guess. That's why it was not able to. Yeah, the output was large. That's why it was not able to, like, give us uh, the output. So let's try some other thing, like ls. Okay, so let's just try to list the commands, list the files that are present here. Okay. Okay, fine. So you can see that I can list all the files here and all these things. Okay, so the similar case would be to, like, take a kind of shell of this web server. It can be easily done from this particular path, right? And I leave this as for you. Okay, since this has already included in one of the challenges that I have set it up in the PPT, right? So it's already there. Okay, the PPT is large. It's like 123 of number of pages, so you can just go through that and try to execute it. I have also only showed you till here, to execute the commands from the back. But how you can try to, let's say, just execute any commands, or take a reverse shell or power off this machine. So I leave this as a task for you guys to complete, and uh, just explore on your own way. And you can see that there are a lot of vulnerabilities that are present here: brute force, command execution, which we are right now doing, CSRF tokens, you might have heard about this, file inclusions, SQL injection, SQL injection, blind. Then we have the upload functionality, right? Like you might have saw in social media groups, like sorry, social media platforms like this Facebook or like this. They have upload kind of button and all these things. So there are lot of ways through which we can abuse that. Okay, so there are bounties in form of cash that these big companies give to the white hat hackers who identify these kind of vulnerabilities. So as I said, it all comes with expertise, experience, and practice. Okay, so all these things come from that, right? And I will, I guess I can demonstrate this upload one, but it will take time, right? So I will not be demonstrating it, but yeah, I will tell you about one more thing about this. Is there are companies, right now there's a long time when there's a concept of, what I can say, is bug hunters. What these guys do is they try to look for bugs in the website, and these website give them consent, like, yes, you can they give you the scope. Okay, like, yeah, yes, you can do that, you can scan this directory, scan this, or do like that. And if they find any kind of vulnerability, misconfiguration, or anything, they document a very formal report. Based on the report, even as a student you can do that, right? But just make sure that that particular company is uh, giving you the consent to do that. If not, you might land up in jail, right? But yeah, that's fine. Okay, first go through the consent page and the scope that these guys give you. Once they do this, just try to find the vulnerabilities or anything that you might find, which is kind of a security loophole or like that. Once you do that, you need to document it in a formal report, right? And that formal report you need to send to the point of contact or to the mail. So based on the severity or on the bug that you identify, they will give you awards in cash. They also give you hall of fame, like that. So it also happens. Okay, so it's basically a very wide field, this cyber security. Okay, and it is not limited only to the web or only to the network part. These are the basic stuff that you need to anyway learn if you want to go into the cybersecurity part, right? Because overall it's what we see in organization. It's a lot of computers, lot of servers, all connected to each other, and then they are doing all these things. So okay, fine. And yeah, so that's what I have in mind as of now. Okay, and if you have anything, any doubts or anything, first what you guys can do is, first you try to just replicate this in the local environment, right? And make sure that you have at least 8 gigs of RAM in your computer or on your laptop, Why? Because running two machines simultaneously will require some amount of energy, right? So your laptop might get heated up or like that, but make sure that you have at least 8 GB of RAM, okay, so that you can divide the RAM accordingly in your virtual environment, and based on that you do the practice, okay. So as I said that most of the challenges are included in the PPT, so you can just try and look for these. If not, you will also find the solutions and the challenges, okay. And if you have any doubts in understanding the concepts, or if you need any guidance in how to go ahead in this field, or in the cybersecurity domain, or anything that you want to ask me or anything, so please let me know, okay. I will be available for you guys, okay. And okay, so thank you, I guess. And yeah, one more thing is just a minute. Mm, yeah, just one more thing is Ruchi ma'am would be sharing one form, okay, for this participation in this workshop. So what you guys need to do is you need to fill out that form, okay. And once you fill that form, you will be given the certificates, okay, for this part, okay, like for participation in the workshop. So please fill out that form. There are 9 to 10 points on that. So Ruchi ma'am, please share the forms in the chat box. Okay. So let me know if there are anything else. I will be happy to help all of you. Okay. And thank you, Ruchi ma'am, and Pankaj sir, Gajendra sir, and the Systrack team and the Systrack institution to give me this awesome opportunity to share my knowledge with you guys all. Okay. So thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you.